Morning, man. Doesn't even feel like morning though. I'll tell you that right now. I'm usually up at 3 o'clock on Mondays. That way I can knock out these stock videos. But market's closed. It's a federal holiday, so I didn't have to work. Oh man, we're rocking. We're cooking with Crisco, getting up at 7:27. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Trey's Trades. We have technical analysis on different stocks in the stock market, as well as potential buy, hold, or sell opinions on these given stocks. I'd like to preface by saying that I'm not a financial advisor nor expert, so take what I say with a grain of salt. The reason that I started this channel is because a couple of years back I was about $30,000 deep in some medical debt, and I was very fortunate to have some close family, friends, and mentors that pushed me to work hard and invest my money. And I'm happy to say that not only am I now financially free, but I'm doing pretty well for myself at the age of 23. So if I can pass along any of the information, resources, or tools that were given to me, make a couple people better off than they were before here in the community, that's all that I can ask for. Lastly, if you would not mind dropping a like on the video, I always got to remind myself to point in the other direction. It really does help support the channel, and consider subscribing if you'd like to see more content like this. Now today, we're going to be going through ticker symbol SENS, Senseonics Holdings Incorporated. We're going to look at this from a 1-month perspective. I've got a couple different indicators pulled up. The RSI, which is the relative strength index, anything over 70 is overbought, anything under 30 oversold. The 200 EMA, which is this dark blue line, and that is the 200-day moving average trend line based on price action over those 200 days. And then the 15-day VAMA. This is the volume adjusted moving average, and some brokerage accounts call this the VWAP or the moving average, the MA. And this is a 15-day price action based trend line that does take into consideration the overall volume and adjust it accordingly. So we're going to talk about what these all mean. We'll level off some levels of support and resistance, talk about some potential entry and exit points, and give you an idea of what to plan for with the next trading day. But before we get into that, I just want to give a quick shout out to the guys over the Patreon. We did have some new members join us. We are currently sitting at 310 members. Adoria, JT Callie, Simon, Ankita, Aftal, Stephanie, S. Francis, Colin, Louis, David, Gigi. There's another guy in here from Israel, but I can't read Israeli. Thank you guys so much for the support. It really does mean a lot to me. They'll have access to the private Discord as well as real-time insights to my personal trading. And guys, this Discord is full of golden nuggets. It is beautiful. We've got a bunch of different plays in here. We've got cult stock, SPAC plays, short, mid-term, long-term, different things that would help with investing assistance. We've got a meme page if you like memes. We've got my daily trades in here. It's just a gold mine. So if you're looking for an entry to the Discord, there is a Patreon link in the description down below. Now, we're just going to run you through what Senseonics is really quick if you're not familiar. They engage in the design, development, and commercialization of implantable continuous glucose monitoring system for people with diabetes. Its primary product is the brand Eversense, a glucose monitoring device which includes sensor, smart transmitter, and mobile application. This company was founded on June 26, 2014. That's 5 days after my birthday. How about that? And is headquartered in Germantown, MD. And there was a news article that came out that I want you guys to completely be aware of. Don't let it deter you from investing in the stock, but just anticipate to see a dip because of this. Senseonics Holdings announced a $50 million registered direct offering of common stock. A medical tech company focused on the development and commercialization of long-term implantable continuous glucose monitoring systems for people with diabetes. Today announced that it has entered into securities purchase agreements with several healthcare-focused and other institutional investors to purchase 40 million shares of its common stock in a registered direct offering at a purchase price of $1.25 per share. H.C. Wainwright & Co. is acting as the exclusive placement agent for the offering. Now, if we do take a quick look at the stock, it is trading at $1.66, and they are going to be offering the stock at a price of $1.25. So I would anticipate for the stock to drop anywhere between 5 to 20 cents below that $1.25 mark. I would not be surprised in the least bit if on Tuesday market open or during the pre-market, we see a little bit of a sell-off. And that's totally fine. That's not the end of the world. If anything, if you believe in the company long-term, that is going to be a huge, huge opportunity for you to get into the stock. And or even midterm, or the swing, right? That's going to be a huge opportunity if you get into the stock when the stock is being oversold, when the RSI is touching down by 30, as I do anticipate that's going to happen, right? So don't be scared by the sell-off, guys. If you do have a position in the stock currently, and you want to hold that position, don't sell at the low point, right? Buy more at the low point, and then let it ride back up to these previous levels, as it likely will. So with that in mind, we're just going to take a quick look at SENS really quick. We're going to drop some levels of resistance and support before we get going. We do have resistance currently sitting at about $2. We do have 2 candle wicks touching right here, so a double top, which is a little bit of a bearish sign, but that is to be expected when the stock runs up from under a dollar very fast. You're going to have a little bit of price rejection, and then a previous level of resistance, which will be an acting level of support, is going to be right here at about $1.55. I anticipate is what it'll be, $1.55. And we are trading just above that right now. Currently trading at $1.66, but I do anticipate a little bit of a pullback with that $50 million direct offering at $1.25. So just be ready for that. The volume does look very nice, right? Especially leading into the after hours in the pre-market the next day. We saw a huge run up. I mean, the last trading day was honestly not that bad. It was consolidation. And when you see a huge run up like this and the correction really isn't that existent, that's really not that bad, guys. That's a good thing. That means that investors are bringing their money to the stock because they see the long-term potential with Sens. And honestly, if you just think about the premise of the company, think about this really quick. If Sensonics focuses on the design, development, and commercialization of implantable continuous glucose monitoring systems for people with diabetes, that is huge. I know a couple people personally in my family that have diabetes, right? And for you to have to manage your glucose with those prickers, with all the different things that you need to either bring your glucose up or bring your glucose down. I got my undergraduate in nutrition, and I know that is a pain in the ass. It is no good. I would swear, but I don't want to get demonetized. This is a kid-friendly channel, guys. We've got a lot of kids watching this. Not really, but oh, whatever. But I believe in the potential of this company long term. I don't currently have a position. I'm going to be completely transparent. Guys, there's so many good stocks out there. It's tough. It's tough because you don't want to over diversify your portfolio because then you're not capitalizing on your real gains. But Sens is definitely a good company from what I can see here just at first glance. And the charts look freaking phenomenal. They look awesome. So just be ready for that dip. I do anticipate that happening. I'm going to drop a Fibonacci really quick. And this is just a retracement tool. Don't be scared away by this. I promise you it's not complex. All that it does is you draw it from the lowest point of the base here before the run up to the top point with this top line. And it tells you how the stock typically retraces, right? And if we can look here, I'll just zoom in really fast so you can see. We do have a very nice retracement that's holding up at this 50% level at $1.49. We do see a triple bounce off of that level, which to me indicates that once we see that direct offering, and it's likely going to dip below $1.25, which does not line up with the Fibonacci scale, I anticipate that this $1.49 level is going to be where we kind of stabilize, just based on some price action that we've seen in the past. Of course, this is just a tool. This is just based on previous trends that we've seen, but it is likely that that $1.49 level will remain an important factor in the stock. Now, that direct offering is going to affect this, but we are currently sitting in a pretty nice, it's not a picture perfect bullish flag, but we do have a nice looking bullish flag happening right now. So if you take a trend line and you draw it from the top of this spike right here, and then a trend line from the bottom base pole of the flag right here, you can see that it's kind of squeezing a little bit. And that consolidation is usually an affirmation to buyers that says, hey, this is a good stock. This isn't something that's going to rip and dip and just waste my money, right? Because nobody wants to get into a stock they think is going to absolutely plummet after they buy it, right? So this is a good sign. This is confirmation to buyers that this stock does look nice. The volume is there. The RSI indicator on the day after actually was still trading a little bit overbought. It wasn't even neutral. So I think people do have a high sentiment on the stock. And based on previous run-ups with Sens, when it does go over 70 on the RSI, the corrections aren't that bad. The corrections have been 40, 38, 36. We did have one pretty gnarly rip right here, down to about 30, and that's the worst that I can see so far. So as far as volatility goes, the stock really hasn't been that volatile, which is a good thing, right? That's I guess it depends on how you want to look at it, but if you're looking at this as an investment, it's going to make you sweat a little bit less, right? We do have long periods of consolidation, just previously speaking, so not a lot of price action happening, but with their recent release, I think there are going to be some people who get their attention brought to Sens, and it does not look bad. The stock looks pretty solid. So we do have a crossover between the 15 VOM and the 200 EMA, and this is a tool that I use to predict potential breakouts. Of course, the breakout already happened here, right? but this is an extremely bullish indicator. We do have a large gap here between these two levels, which to me indicates that it should continue to run at least for some time, or at the very least consolidate, right? So if we look at the previous run up, we can see that it did last for about, I would say 2 days. And then after that, it did consolidate for a pretty long period of time outside of one small spike and then dip back down. But with the news that came out, with the direct offering, that is a good thing for the long-term growth of a company. That is a way for them to generate revenue, to capitalize on their run-up based on the news that came out. And I think that the potential for this company is definitely there if you're looking at it for an investment, right? So that's how that's looking right now. We do have the crossover, pretty bullish territory. We do have a bullish flag. I do anticipate breaking downward on that bullish flag, and watch for anywhere between, I would argue, $1.05 and $1.20. I think that is likely where you're going to see the stock end up market open on Tuesday. So that is a good buying opportunity if you're looking to get into the stock. Please, 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 please don't buy in when it is sitting at $1.66. I think you are going to be very mad if you do that because I do anticipate there's going to be a pretty gnarly rip down. Since the direct offering is at $1.25, shareholders are not going to want to hold a stock that is valued higher than the company thinks it's worth when they're selling the stock, right? So I do anticipate a sell-off. Just be ready for that. If you are holding the stock, maybe you take profits and you re-enter back in at $1.04 to $1.20. Or if you believe in the stock long-term, right, you can just dollar cost average either up or down and improve your position in the stock. Just don't sweat that dip because I anticipate that happening. That is good for the long-term growth of the company. It's just going to be a little blip in terms of what happens over the next couple of months. So that's how that's looking on the 1 month chart. If we change it over to the 2 day 1 minute chart, we'll look for any extra confirmations that we have to buyers based on this. Of course, you do need to take this with a grain of salt since there is a direct offering. That catalyst is going to push the stock price down, but it very well could come back up, and I do think it'll come back up to about $1.50 at the very least by tomorrow. So currently, if we look at this, we do have a double bottom right here. I will draw these out just so you can see it leading into the after hours. And a double bottom is a bullish indicator. This means that sellers try to push the price down more than one time, and it was rejected. Buyers pushed the price back up. We do see a very nice push in both instances. Actually, you could call this a triple bottom because we do have 2 touch points here on that $1.55 mark. But we're just going to call it a double bottom because it is forming 2 pretty nice little dips right here. And then this is a little bit of a stair-stepping action. We are moving in an upward channel right here. And then since this little stair-step that we saw, this upward trend, we have been squeezing down on price action overall leading into the rest of the day. So you can see it drew up that trend line right here. And then if we even want to further draw out the trend line, you can see that it's squeezing based off of this pre-market action, and that is a confirmation to buyers that the stock should continue to grow. So it looks very good. RSI indicator throughout the day bounced between overbought and oversold territory. So a pretty solid consolidation day. It didn't really lean one way or the other overall. You are always going to see that sort of fluctuation on the RSI, just as people take profits or day trade or swing trade, etc. But Suns does look like a solid opportunity to get into. If you'd like to swing trade this, watch for the dip down between $1.04 and $1.20 and ride it back up to $1.50. Take some profits. You're going to be a very happy guy. I think mid to long term, the stock is a very solid opportunity, guys. And as it continues to develop, as they continue to work towards that glucose monitoring system that you can implant, that is going to be huge. And I can see this being a big player in the medical field. Man, pharmaceutical and biotech companies right now are just crushing. It's so nuts. It's so crazy. I can't believe. Go where the money's going. That's all I'm saying. And this is where the money's going right now. It's going into a company like Sens. So this is a good stock to get into, guys. I feel very good about it. And I hope that this video was helpful for you. So that's what I have for the technical analysis and news update, fundamental analysis on Sens. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like. It really does help support the channel. And consider subscribing if you'd like to see more content like this. And lastly, I do have an affiliate link in the description box for TubeBuddy. Now, TubeBuddy is an SEO optimization website that I personally pay a $9 per month membership fee for, and I highly attribute this to growing from 0 to 8.5 thousand subscribers in a little over a month. So if you are a content creator or looking to become one, I could not recommend this highly enough. It is a great tool to help get your videos into the eyes of your intended audience. And if you do use my link, I will receive a commission off of your purchase at no extra cost to you. So it's a great way to support the channel, and if you're not interested, that's totally fine. I just appreciate your support by taking the time to watch my videos. So that is what I have for you guys today.